And we are live. Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. The podcast where some weeks we record and some weeks we don't, Before we get even remotely close to banter, we're going to take a moment to celebrate collectively here on this podcast. Andy Hoover, share the news with the listeners.
Engaged man.
Share the news, Hoover.
Engaged man.
Let's go, baby. An engaged man. Andy Hoover. Give us just like how did that feel? How did that feel in that moment?
It was awesome, man. It was super cool. You do it for her reaction, and she had a great one. And I couldn't be more excited about it. Had a fantastic little party on Saturday, and was useless yesterday and today. Continued the celebrations into Sunday, and now here we are. We're doing it.
Here we are indeed. Well, we're stoked for you, fella. There's just so much to celebrate in the world. Manchester United are back to winning ways, preseason or not. We're out here. We're winning games. So now is as good of a time as any to check in on my fellow United Corner member, Connor Sindobri. How are you doing?
Going on, fellas? Jordan flu game today, coming off a four-day trip to Ozarks with the boys. But it's good to be here, fellas. I feel like I haven't been here in like a month. Yeah, like Ken said, happy that United's back playing. It's because St. Louis City has done us absolutely zero favors in terms of helping my soccer mental health. But it's good to see all the fellas. I feel like the last couple episodes I've listened to with the guys have just been one or two fellas. So it's good to see six beautiful faces on the episode this week.
Yeah, just in the nick of time, I would say that all of us here were on time, and then the guy that came in second place was Lucas Winkleman on the on time competition. So off the rip, Winks, how you doing?
Hey fellas, good. Sorry about that. Was on the phone with my padre, trying to push him off so I could be on here. But good to see you guys. No, like Dope said, I've been traveling like a madman for work, so I've been missing being on here on Monday nights. So it's really good to get back and to have all six of us on this one is special, even though we're not quite into the start of the Prem yet. But good to see you fellas.
Yeah, absolutely. Nikki, what's going on in your world, bro? How are you?
Boys, I'm doing great. As you guys have all mentioned, kind of all recovering from the weekend with the boys. Had a little bit too much fun, but don't need to go into that. But I'm interested to see how this episode goes because Henry just talked about that we might get into some transfer conversation, and I have to look up the long list of Chelsea signings because I can't name them all.
We need like a 4-hour block for your transfer segment.
Yeah, I needed a little bit more prep time because I had to study the study guide because that thing is fucking long. Yeah, I'm pumped to talk about it. As always, it's good to see all you guys, and I'm happy we have a full episode. As always, you can find me on Twitter at headfirst.
My brother this weekend at the lake told Nick that instead of doing like a Chelsea transfer episode or like filling people into what transfers they've brought in, they should just make a starting 11 with all the outgoing transfers that they've had because there's enough to fill that under.
Wouldn't be a bad squad either.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad squad. Half of them are at Arsenal, so pretty easy. You can just say the Arsenal starting 11. And, fellas, every once in a while, there's just a time where all the stars align and God looks down on us with favor. And today's one of those days because Ryan Butchart is back on the podcast. He's back on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Bucci Main. How you doing? Fill the people in.
I am great, man. It's great to be with you guys. Had a blast with you at the lake this weekend. I'll tell you that. We had an absolute blast. I outdrank Dobes all 3 nights, so I just want to throw that out there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Head coach of Lafayette High School, folks. Head coach of Lafayette High School.
Clip it and report it.
I'm just kidding. No, listen, I had a great time being with you guys and fellowship, and I feel so good, man. Had to fix myself a little bit, so I feel phenomenal. I feel fantastic mentally and physically, and happy to be back.
Too, man. Beard's
I appreciate that, brother.
Beard looks solid. We can't see how the mental is going, but boy, could we see how the physical's going over the weekend. My man is built right now. He is built right now. Low key, Butch, happy to have you back, but infuriated that we have to talk about Liverpool on this podcast with the transfer business that they've been doing, because coming off of a W on the Premier League last season and then signing 4, maybe 5 absolute ballers makes me want to throw up. So we'll get to that. We'll talk about some Premier League transfers ahead of the new season, but we got to start where we start every single week, because why not? St. Louis City. We're starting off with a loss because that's what we talk about every week, but 2-1 to Minnesota United, coming off of a wild Chris Durkin cameo. We saw some debuts from some players. We saw some good play, and we saw a lot of bad play. So who wants to take this one away on their thoughts on this game?
Yeah, dude, what?
I know everyone's chomping
What's
at the
new?
bits here. Everyone can't wait to talk about it.
We were watching at the lake on the dock, because me, you, and Dope sitting down there, and we were just like, what was Durkin doing, dude?
Just
And
so bad.
I love Chris Durkin. I think he's a solid, great role guy who can play 5 different positions. I was just like, dude, you have more experience than that to know to do better when you're up 1-0 with 20 minutes left. Just, if he gets by you, man, don't pull him. Just make him score. Let your goalie try to make a save at least. Like, don't give him a penalty and a red card.
Dude,
100%.
He read that ball
I can't
over his head like a 7th grader playing Little League baseball, too. Like, his reaction time was miserable to even just get to the ball or anticipate where it was going. Absolutely nothing between the ears on that.
Yeah, it is weird, too. Chat City Tactics, talked about it so eloquently on Twitter, but we have like 9 center backs. I think that's the total, several of which were on the bench and ready to go in the game. But instead, Critchley decides to bring in Durkin and play him as a center back, which is just weird. So is it possible that now Durkin is going to be transitioned into a center back? And if he is, what's the point of having all those other dudes? I just don't really understand that. But yeah, I agree with you. The 7th grade reading, I think, is being kind on that. Misreading the ball over the head happens, but to turn right around and throw your arms around the forward in the box makes no sense at all. There's kind of no excuse for that. And then
to be fair, the second pen was just as bad.
What do you even make of that? Like, what do you I don't even understand how you're in that position.
In the air, bro. There's just nothing redeemable about having your, like, brother. I played a Sunday league soccer game yesterday, and I'm approaching the corner, and I've got my hands behind my back, bro. We're not calling pens in a men's Sunday league, but I was just trained for me to do that. I'm going to keep my arms down. There's just no scenario where it's going to hit my hands. The 2 mental lapses were insane.
To me, it's like one of those things, like, why do you even jump that way in the first place? Like, you'd think, like, when you jump, like, your hands are down and they go down to put yourself up. Like, I don't even know how you end up in that position. It was funny, just the fact that we were watching on the dock. They give it the first pen, and the Henry are like, all right, here we go. Like, 10 men, like, there's no shot. It can get worse than this. And then that pen happens. We didn't even watch the pen. We unplugged the TV from the dock. I had the TV in my hand, and we just walked straight upstairs. We're like, we're not watching the end of this game.
Insane.
I didn't watch the end, and they came up into the house and were like, yeah, we just gave away 2 pens and a red. And I was like, haha, funny. And they're like, no, that's like actually what happened. And I was like, oh my.
The other thing that I also, I feel like, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, that Orozco gave away that penalty in the loss? Didn't matter. He was tired. And we were able to say, like, young player, kind of doesn't affect the game at all, whatever. This one, on the other hand, makes it a potential pattern that's occurring. It's 2 penalties given away in 2 games. 2 in a week is a difficult thing to wrap your head around. Are y'all nervous about him at all? Do you feel like maybe it was just 2 fluke situations, or what's the read on him? Because we were all like, when he signed his contract like 3 weeks ago, we were like, yeah, that's great. That's exactly what needs to happen. But now, potential difference?
No, I mean, it's unacceptable, and I think he's got to know that it's unacceptable. So he's not my plans for the permanent left back spot. Like, that's been the rotating circus of this team since we started in the league. And my hopes of a bright future don't necessarily include him. And I would love for him to be there. I would love for him to make that jump and just continue to grow as a player. But like, half this team is just the same way. It's like, well, you're not going to be here next year, so I can't be, getting too upset about whatever is happening. And it sucks for him because he is one of the younger guys. Did just get called up out of his supplemental contract. Would love for him to continue, to do better going forward, but there's just no way that that's the solution. So I think it sits too heavy.
It's just a weird decision. Granted, we had to look it up.
Yeah.
But he is a center back. Like he was playing left back out of necessity, but he is a 5'9" center back. Shout out Lissandro Martinez. Really curious about just how he's going to fit into this squad. Obviously, we signed him on a couple-year deal, so he will be here next year unless we move him on. But will he get minutes? I have no idea. But yeah, the left back is true purgatory here at St. Louis City. We also got to see 2 debuts, Paddleford and Sangbin. Any thoughts on those two? I feel like Sangbin was a little bit involved in his cameo. I didn't notice Paddleford too much at the left back role, which means that probably is fine. But any standouts with those two?
Too early to tell, I think. For some of these players, I do feel bad a little bit because they're clearly not coming into a good situation and expected just to change everything that's going on. It's not realistic. I don't know. From what I watched, and it was majority of the second half more so than the first. It was just like same type of players that it seems like we've had no real, maybe a little bit better than what we had, but with the group that we have right now, I feel like it's very tough to stand out and be a very, very good player when there's so much dysfunction around you. So they may end up coming good, but at the same time, it's just more so this group as a whole has been struggling for months and months now, as we've reiterated a bunch on this podcast. So it's just
it's nice to have a winger playing in a winger's position.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
That for sure. I'm not watching slow-ass Seti out there on the right or can't pass Simon.
Dude, he's so concerning right now. Cedric is real, and we didn't record after the game that Lutz kind of went on his rant on the radio. If you all haven't gotten the opportunity to take a listen, you can find it all over Twitter. Lutz chimed into, I forgot what radio station, the day after the last loss, and basically just told the players that it's just not good enough, that they're given every single opportunity to perform well, state-of-the-art facilities. He even said that some of them are even over-pampered, and that he was going to be having some very real conversations with those players about their future with St. Louis City. That's pretty damning for your sporting director to come out and say, and yet we still see the same kind of result the following game. So I'll kind of believe it when I see it. The transfer market is open for the MLS. I'm just not too sure we'll make any more roster moves before it closes. Unfortunately.
Gio Reyna.
That's an interesting thing.
I don't want that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I really don't.
I mean, regardless of if you think St. Louis City is going to sign him or not, do you feel like coming to the MLS is a good move for Gio Reyna?
Dude,
no.
I think number one, he should be getting game. You're telling me somewhere in the Netherlands wouldn't take this kid? Or I saw he was linked with Parma. Just get games in a competitive environment. I don't like the MLS for him either. He's still too young. At some point, dude, you just got to play. This is a World Cup cycle. You just got to get games.
That's my number one argument. I believe that he has so much talent and no reason why he should be sitting in the MLS with the amount of talent that he has. But if you're not getting games, it doesn't really matter where you are because you're not getting games. So if he does come to the MLS and he starts playing well and stays injury free, then good for him. And then go get your move after the World Cup. But I don't know, man. I hope he goes somewhere big. But for St. Louis City, we play Aston Villa
Such a
on
random comment.
Wednesday. We're going to get shit pumped. But allegedly...
Never did I ever see that.
Yeah. Allegedly, we are going to get our first look at fall at the center back. Whether it's going to be a full debut or just a half or something, we are going to get to see some minutes for Lutz. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see, obviously with Durkin being suspended for the next little bit, it's nice that we have a 10th center back coming into the roster and maybe one of them will play. So we'll see how it'll go, but
I guess
stay
Paul's
tuned.
Supposed to play Wednesday, which is I'm excited for him. That's going to be, we're using one of these U21 signings. He's an extremely promising center back. Dude's an absolute freight train of a human being. I'm pumped. I'm really excited for him, and I hope that he comes good. And maybe next year we've got a decent back line with him and Kessler. Nikki, we will get you that center back pairing. One of these days, bro, we will get it.
I'm praying rank. That's honestly why I'm very excited to see this guy. Is exactly what you said. I'm hoping he's exactly what he looks like, which is a tall, dominant center back, and will claim and calm our defense with his presence. And I'm hoping he'll be a great duo partner for Kessler when he gets back from injury.
Yeah, I hope those two really figure it out. I would love to see those two. Those would be my starting two without ever seeing this fall guy play. So, whatever.
And that goes into our segment too on this.
Yeah. We should we do the segment now, or you want to wait till the end to do the segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
I say we go now while we're talking about City.
Fuck.
Rip it.
We'll do it now.
Do it
I want to
live.
give a shout out. I want to give a special shout out to Durkin Prop on Twitter. He hit the Twitter sphere with a really great question that I think is just good. So he said, all for City fans, you're being placed as the new sporting director of St. Louis City, and the club gives you 10 spots to keep players, and the rest will be sold.
You want to have who had a roller coaster on Sunday or Saturday? It was Durkin Prop. He was probably in a blender watching his namesake come out and just tank in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. So, fellas, I'm going to say that to you. If you had the opportunity to keep 10 of these players, everyone else is sold.
I think we can just go ahead and make it 9 because there's a unanimous 1 in the back, and it's Roman Berkey.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and I don't think he stays, to be honest. I think he's out of here.
I do too.
I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The only place that I would really see him going, and this is more for off the field stuff, is Chicago, because that's where his fiance is. But if it's not Chicago, he just got engaged. He's not going to want to go to San Diego, So I don't know. I see there's a world that we do get to keep him, but I agree with you. If I'm in charge, I'm keeping him for sure.
I think Lowen's
easy number
another
2.
one that's almost an automatic.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hartel
could also see him leaving.
Sure.
Yeah.
Marcel
Hartel.
Hartel for sure.
I have Kessler. I
Kessler,
feel like is a yeah.
Wait, what are we at? 4?
We are at 4. Hartel, Leuven, Berkey, and Kessler.
All right,
I'm not saying he's one of mine, but is Klaus's deal potential deal move forward at all? Have we heard anything about him?
It sounds like he's staying.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really does kind of want to stay. And
yeah,
I mean, could we upgrade? Maybe. This is the whole thing with Klaus. It's like, if he's not a DP, I'm loving everything that he's giving me. Yep. But the fact that he is,
I'm all in.
Is the issue, and there's so much talk of them buying him out from his DP status and whatever. And I think that would be fantastic
if we can make that happen.
I think he's one of my 10.
Yeah, for me,
Klaus.
He's on mine.
Could we upgrade from him? Yes.
Klaus.
Do I think he can pretty consistently give us 8 to 10 goals a season? Yes, for sure.
For me, all throughout.
Yeah, on there.
Fall. Yeah,
I mean, he's on mine. Yeah,
he's here for the long run.
He's obviously part of the future. So, I have Makai Joyner on mine. I think for the now and the future, I feel like he's going to be a pretty big part of the future of this program.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
30 goals for City too.
And we got to keep some youth in this 10-man.
He's balling.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And if I was to probably pick a youngster, that's probably the one I would have gone with too.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was doing a little bit of research before that. Do you guys know Miggy Perez's market value?
No.
It's at 2.2 million.
2.2?
Yeah. Oh, he is not my favorite player. I think Connor Sandovia is a better player
19,
than Miggy Perez.
Hey, Miggy got an assist over the weekend, so I mean, had that value. What are your thoughts on Sangbin? Are you keeping him? I know that he's brand new, but I'm
too early.
I Betcher Sangbin.
You take who over him?
Betcher.
See,
I don't see.
I'm appreciative of Betcher on our team, but I'm not using it. I'm not using him on a 10-piece.
I think him and Sangbin
can
similar.
Can pass.
Talent-wise.
I've picked up in the 63 minutes that we got to see of him.
Yeah.
This is a bad exercise, fellas. This is just embarrassing.
It's really sad.
I would keep Orozco.
See, I like that. I do like that shout. I think he's going to come good. It's just a really trying time to add him into this 10.
We got 2 defenders in our save of 10 so far. And we've got 9 center backs.
I know.
Like,
I know. Well, let me throw some other defenders.
We have 2 center backs.
I may keep Tottenham, to be honest with you. He's 25 years old.
I have Totland and Wallum both. I know that Wallum's only on a loan, but if I can hold on to him.
No.
What about Watts?
Move on.
No,
sorry,
bro.
No. Sorry, Akil, if you listen to
No,
this.
No versatility there.
Yeah, didn't mean to just throw Akil under the bus there.
I like Wallum.
I think he's been kind of the bright spot of what we've been able to do that's not in an attacking sense.
We got 2 more.
Well, would we keep Tuchel?
We have Kessler,
No,
Berkey.
I'm out on Tuchel too.
No.
I'm out. I'm so out on him.
We have
out
8
on
right now.
Celio?
Kessler, Berkey.
That's like
Celio's a hard one for me, man.
I don't think our team has a single player that anybody should be afraid of. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
There's not one, dude. There's not a single guy that I'm like, I don't want to play him.
We've said it a lot, but we have to be the league's favorite team. They love playing in St. Louis.
I'm like borderline, like what the little bit that Jay Reed showed us last year, kind of, but like he hasn't showed it a lot because he was injured.
Just an athlete.
So this is fucked up, fellas. The assignment was to choose 10, and we're at 8, and that is where our list ends. You know. Yeah, I just feel like we're just completing it just to complete it. But
we did it.
I put a question.
I'll give him a 9 spot. What do you cost? So I stirred up some.
Let's just save the last spot for whoever we sign next.
Stirred some controversy on this Sangbin cat on Twitter. I didn't understand why there was any sort of confusion as to whether and we love Will Bratton. He's a great friend of the pod, and we enjoy chatting with him a lot on social media. But like, he's like, I think he's worth way more than 1.6 million, and I was like, from what? Like from what are we? Where have we seen this? We're not talking generational stats here. He's not had more than a couple goals in a year since leaving Korea. Also, the counterpoint of him being played out of position at Minnesota makes sense, and understand that, and he's being used as a sub and sparing minutes. So, you can't take all of it with the same value that, you could someone else playing in the right position, in the right team, and et cetera. But, like, there's just not been there's been nothing from his career that indicates to me that he's worth the money that we paid. Like, is he young and is an athlete and promising? Sure, absolutely. But, like, we sold Giacchini for like 1.1 million to Como at the end of our first season, and he's had 11 goals in the season. Like, a great bit of business. We got him in the super draft. We didn't pay, and then we dish it. That's awesome business. But like, he garnered that $1.1 million transfer. Like, just because this guy's got a couple South Korean caps that we're gonna tack that price on him. Like, I was confused by the conversation on the discourse on that.
The discourse on it.
And like, if he's the right winger that we've needed, if I got a Sunny regen, I'm all in. This is great business. I'll eat my words. But like, there's just not been anything to really indicate that that's the case.
I mean, hey, if we're using Miggy Perez as the yardstick, 2.2 million.
Dude, I bet
1.6
transfer value on transfermarket.com is probably like $50K at least. Like, I mean, at this point, bro.
Probs. Undrafted, unsigned free agent coming out of South City, St. Louis. Andrew
7-time intramural champion at Missouri State University.
Put some respect on his name. Speaking of intramural, Missouri State, Kyle Hebert. Should he be on this list? Are we keeping Kyle Hebert?
No.
So, from the Mecca, we have Kessler, Berkey, Leuven, Klaus, Wallum, Totland, Fall, Sangbin, Hartel, and then either Mackay or Roscoe.
Are there any of these cats that we think in the next couple years will be good enough to sell? Like, we're thinking about keeping guys for the future of the club, like playing for City. But can we flip any of these guys?
I would say Celio might be able to be flipped, and then Mackay Joyner. Mackay will definitely be.
Yeah, so maybe we think about that last spot as somebody that isn't in the long-term future of City, but someone that we could
like it being
money
Mackay
off of
because
in the
one,
next couple
I
of
do
years.
think he could be, a contributing member in the next year, 2 years, but also
Isn't he already on the list?
Dude, now I'm laughing. I'm looking, Nikki. So yeah, we have Mickey Perez's value is 2.1 million, and then we have Mekhi Joyner at 30,000 after balling in the MLS too last year and this year.
But I thought we already had Joyner in our 9. Okay, then I agree with that. I think he's probably the least one that
I feel bad for leaving Orozco
I would
off.
say with that.
If it's him or Mackay, spirit.
Yeah.
What about McSorley?
Dude, I tell you what.
You said, what about McSorley?
I'm waiting on this kid. I'm keeping this card fresh. I'm still waiting on this Caden Glover kid to go somewhere, do something.
Yeah, bro. I mean, he's.
I've got this 69 out of 99 card of his. I need to get him to sign it and then sell.
Yeah,
but it's got to go to Europe for it to be worth any money. So come on.
True.
18
years old.
Sorry, we're on a tangent with this real quick. This market value is so messed up.
Is it whack?
It has Lowen at 6.1 million and has Berkey at 700K.
Wild, bro. Sign him up for United. Give Berkey to Manchester United. Here we go.
They're worth more than Kepa right now, or than we bought Kepa for.
That's crazy. That's nuts. You know what? I'm seeing a lot of responses to this tweet adding Thomas Ostrak in the 10, which I find to be just super surprising.
I think he's one of those guys that's got value if we were to maybe want to make a deal in the MLS. And I think, with a run of games, he could be pretty solid, but it's just so inconsistent out of him. It's never anything amazing. It's never anything that bad. It's just he's a puzzling character piece for me. I just pulled up Transfer Market, but Thomas Mueller maybe to Vancouver Whitecaps. Why would you ever go to Vancouver?
How random can you get, man?
You should come to St. Louis.
I'd take Dobes in the 6th slot right now. I'm with you on that, Havy.
Dope Skulls running through the middle of the park.
I got tired playing golf Friday, fellas. Come on now.
After seeing him this weekend, I don't know if I agree with it anymore. Maybe give him like 3 months of training and then he's
did
back.
the same thing in college, though, bro.
Yeah, that is fun. Fellas, let's talk some transfers, shall we? Enough St. Louis City to ruin our day. Let's talk transfers. We're sticking in the EPL. There's quite a bit that has gone on, starting with Liverpool. Butchie, y'all have made 4 pretty massive signings, in my opinion. Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekotike, Milos Kerkez, and Jeremy Frimpong. And word on the street is that you're clearing out space for Alexander. So are you running it back for another title next year?
And got shit pumped by Milan.
Yeah, sure did.
Up for him.
He did. No, great signings, obviously. Can't forget about my boy. I can't pronounce his last name in goal, but he's a stud. Marma Deshava.
Uh-huh.
I'm making the pizza.
No, obviously, I think to your comment, Henry, I think it is at this expectation with the money we've spent, you have to win the league. If we don't win the league, it's going to be a lot of question marks on why we spent $361 million, which will probably go to $500 million if we get Isak.
I was going to say so far.
So you're spending $500 million almost on transfers. You have to win the league. I'm super excited about Florian Wirtz. Obviously, that cat has got a lot of talent. I love Frimpong. The only thing I don't like about Frimpong is that he runs like Sterling, bro. His T-Rex looking ass.
You guys, it's like him beating a guy and letting the ball go out of bounds. It was the count was just Liverpool really signed Sterling.
Yeah, he runs just like him, dude. He looks like a freaking velociraptor.
He's like Griffin, man.
Shout out Griff. No, but yeah, I'm really excited. I think I like the thought of Ekotike too. I think he could turn into a really good striker. He obviously had a great season last year at Frankfurt, scoring 21 or 22 goals for Frankfurt last year. So you put him with players around him that'll make him better from day one. I think he could be something special in the long run. So that's a future signing for me. That's a 3 to 5 year project maybe with him. I don't think he'll start this year for sure, which is crazy that we spent 90 million on him and he probably won't start.
Like he, in my head,
Crazy.
and if I'm him, he's what, 23? I think you're right. Everything you said was spot on. But like, I want to go start somewhere. Like I'm so into probably being the checked. I think they did too. I think they've done him and Newcastle crazy dirty.
No, we screwed Newcastle big time. I mean, and Isak saying he wanted to move after we signed him, Ekotike. Then he says, I want to leave. And that just was crazy to me.
He waited until Arsenal signed
saying he was going to
too. He made sure that Arsenal picked up their striker before he was ready to put in his request.
Yeah, man knows ball. He wanted to come to Anfield.
I'm with you, frankly.
But yeah, that's my only thing I would say, fellas, is Ekotike signing for 90. If he's not going to start, I don't know how I feel about spending that kind of money on. I would have rather spent 60 to 70 million on a top class center back to have 3 or 4 really good center backs, and then spend 90 million on a backup striker. That's what I would have rather done, because I still think we need a center back, and we won't address it after selling Kwanzaa. So we're only down to 3 on the roster. But
Isak,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Arnie's got a vision. Arnie's army, baby. We're gonna run it back. So I'm all in.
I don't think Isak's official. I don't think there's been anything.
Liverpool have to sell. Liverpool have to sell Darwin, and then I think they can afford it.
He'll recoup that 90 mil on Darwin for sure.
Would be. I mean,
they just sold Diaz for 78.
Yeah, Diaz for 78. I'm like, anything is possible out here, you know? It's fucking insane, fellas, that Liverpool wins the league and then spends 500 million right after that. Like that is insane.
It would have made sense that they spent that money if they weren't able to re-sign Van Dijk or Salah, trying to fill those holes. But yeah, totally. knowing that they're keeping both of those, it's
play the violin for the Jamie Carragher. I hate when teams buy the league comments that he harped on for months last year.
I will say it's kind of crazy in Butchie. At some point, we'll have to get your dream starting 11 for this Liverpool squad. But it is funny that you say, you know, you go out and spend 500 million, you got to win the league, which is a perfect transition to the guy that's done it twice in back-to-back transfer windows, Chelsea, and has still not won the league.
That could have gone a couple different ways. I didn't know you had
under the notes, Nick, for transfers for Chelsea, I just put buying everyone under the sun. And I feel like that's accurate because I don't actually even know who you have truly bought and who
I'm gonna mute this for an hour and watch the Grant Horvat video and let that finish, and then we can.
I just don't know what's going on with Chelsea, bro.
I mean,
obviously, we talked about the signing of João Pedro for the Club World Cup because good pickup for you, came out of nowhere. But Chelsea was the talk of the trip, I feel like, over the weekend. Everyone was curious about what Chelsea's going to continue to do in this transfer window and who even plays at what position. So, Nick, where are you feeling about your transfer business right now, and what are you hopeful for the rest of the transfer window?
Oh my, where to start? Obviously, I think we've made some big signings, and there's still some signings I think are going to be made. Plenty of times in this pod, as Liverpool is showing it this year, that's kind of the new standard, and I think these price tags are just going to continue to increase. The big ones for me, I already talked about it at the lake, and Henry kind of alluded to it. I think João Pedro is a great signing for us. I'm super excited for him. I think him and Cole Palmer are going to be a great duo for the future. I already like their chemistry. Yes, it was only 2 games, but they were pretty spectacular in those 2 games, so it was definitely a good preview for me. In the same vein, I think the signing of Liam Delap for 30 million is another great signing for us. I had always looked at him as coming in and being a competition for Nico and at least pressuring for a starting job, but now I kind of see him doing that with João Pedro. Obviously, I think there are talks that Nico Jackson is probably going to be sold or loaned out, which possibly could happen. And honestly, if he doesn't, I'm okay with it as well. I think having 3 striker competition, and João Pedro is kind of diverse and can play out wide if he really needs to be. But we clearly don't need him to play out wide because we're also linked with a load of wingers as well. I'm going to be honest, the Xavi Simons one, I think some people think that we still do need wingers, which I don't disagree with. Obviously, with Madueke gone, Sancho gone, we're really reliant on Neto, and I've also heard that our youngster George, who played a lot for us last year, is rumored to leave as well. We might also put him on loan.
Is that what they call him? Evil Saka?
Yeah, Iwasaki.
Iwasaki.
Yep. Yep. I also think our midfield, with how we played against PSG, I think Cole is going to see some more time at the winger position. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what we're doing with that, because I think Dove's talked about it this weekend as well, and I completely agree with him. The fact that we haven't signed a center back is definitely concerning to me, because that is the position I believe we need experience the most in. I think Chalobah coming back and playing for us and continuing to play for us this next season is going to be huge for us, because I do think he's quality, but I don't know if he's a Premier League winning center back. I think Colwill has the potential, but I don't think he's there yet. And we also mentioned it, like what a Thiago Silva 3 years ago could do to this squad would be incredible, because I think that's what we're missing, is an experienced center back to help train some of these youngsters. I mean, our youngest player is Tosin, who's 27 years old, which is just absolutely crazy to think about. So the fact that we haven't signed a center back and we're still linked with all these wingers is kind of mind-blowing to me. But I will go through the list if you guys want to hear. It looks like there is 8 total signings this summer. We have Dario Esuga from Portugal. We have Esteval, obviously, from Brazil, who's joining us this year, who I am also very excited for. He's another winger that he's going to come in. I'm excited for him because I feel like he doesn't have that much pressure. Like, yes, we paid a lot of money. Yes, he has a lot of expectation, but like, it's been kind of a long, drawn out situation where we've known for such a long time that he was going to be joining us. I think him playing against us in the Club World Cup and scoring against us was kind of a huge like confidence booster for him. So I'm super excited for him. I think he's just going to come in and have.
We got the 006 graphic, 007 graphics already made for him.
Hey, bring it up. I'd love it. The other one is Paez, who's another Brazilian, or no, he's from Ecuador, who's another youngster that we signed, who I think he's going to probably go on loan, but he's a guy who I could see in the future. We have Liam Delap, Mamadou Sarr, João Pedro, and Jamie Gittins, who I haven't even talked about. But Jamie Gittins is another winger that we signed that I think will bring competition. I don't know much on him. I watched a couple of his highlights at Dortmund. Obviously, it's a whole different league in the Premier League, so I'm intrigued to see how it translates.
He's a good player.
55 million. I think that's a stretch for not knowing that much and not having that experience in the Premier League. But like I said before, I think that's.
If he scores like 4 and 6, you just sell him for 60 million like he did in Madueke.
I know.
I mean, what's crazy is Estavio, he is your 3rd highest market value on your squad and hasn't kicked a ball for Chelsea, which I think is insane. You know, it is funny listening to you say some of these names. Would dare you to tell me anything about any of those players, but like
which ones?
Sago?
Esugo? Dario?
Yeah. Dario
Esugo? Yeah, I have no idea on that one.
You're like, yeah, no fucking clue.
That is literally, of them all, the only one I have not looked up highlights and watched. But from what I'm looking at right here, he played for Las Palmas, plays for Portugal, got a couple of caps, and his fee was 18.5 million. But I honestly, the only thing I also saw about him is he'll probably go on loan for us. So like, yeah, I don't even know if I will even get to see him play in Chelsea Blue. That's the other thing. You guys were talking about the people that we brought in, but the list of people that we've sent out this year is absolutely disgusting. Like, I couldn't tell you half of these players that are on this out thing, but it's a list of like 27 players.
I mean, even looking at your squad on FotMob, I'm just going to read out some names that are still employed by Chelsea Football Club. Raheem Sterling, Ben Chilwell. Who else is on here? Wesley Fofana.
Palace on loan though.
He was on loan, but he's back. And then you have Wesley Fofana, Mudryk, LOL. Armando Broja is still here. David Datro Fofana is still there. Carney Chukwuemeka is there. Alfie Gilchrist.
Yeah. But Chukwuemeka is probably in the Xavi Simmons deal. And like a lot of those players you're naming are going to go on loan. But yes,
Caleb Wiley, Aaron Anselmino.
I don't know any of these guys are.
Bro, Aaron Anselmino, who the fuck is that guy?
We just sold him, I believe, for 30-something million. The
Shut up.
Anselmo guy.
Yeah. The only one I heard was the Chukwuemeka or whatever his name was, only because he was linked. Fabrizio tweeted his name a couple days ago.
Dude, I mean, it's just hilarious, bro. I dare you to tell me anything about Mike Penders.
No.
Dare you. I dare you.
Acting like he's immediately going into our starting 11
taxes,
or our starting 5.
It's just, I'm just saying Chelsea Football Club is just so fucking funny, man. It's just like, it is absolutely insane. Like, looking at you.
I
all.
think
So,
it's funny you find it funny.
Objectively, I think it's pretty funny.
Tell me why.
No, it's nuts.
I mean, he just named 7 of the 8 players he just never heard of, which doesn't make it a bad thing. It
But
just
he
means you
named
have
players
so
that
many.
were on loan last year and are going to be on loan again. Like 8 of those players he just named were on loan, weren't on our side. That's why I don't know much about them, because they were not on our roster day in and day out. And now they're back. Now they're probably going to be sold or on loan again.
Petrovic caught a $28 million transfer to Bournemouth. That's news.
yeah,
Yes.
it's fire.
Yeah,
Just
he's gonna
who?
be
Caleb Wiley to Watford.
Sure.
That's awesome for the U.S. men's national team. That's great. We love seeing
Isn't
that.
Tom Cleverley the coach there? Or am I way off there?
Is he?
I think
Tommy
he was.
Klebs.
Tom Cleves? Nothing wrong with that. But anyway, Nick, anything else? You want a center back. But you brought this, or Butch, you brought this up that you would have rather like invest in a center back. What center backs are even on the market right now?
I
Like
know. That's the
someone
other
that
hard
you
part.
go out and spend 60 on. Like I have no idea.
I would break the bank for Silva from Benfica. I'd blank check. Blank check.
I mean,
Antonio
yeah,
Silva.
That's like a hard one where it's like, he's not necessarily like on the market.
I was going to say,
you
all
know?
the people that I would want are not going to be on the market. Like the youngster from frickin' Barca, the youngster from
Pau
Real.
Cubarsí.
I like the dude from Sporting. What's his name? Inacio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a good one.
I
Portugal,
wanted
man.
Dean, bro.
Everybody wanted Dean.
Dean Poison.
I wanted
Dude, he
Dean,
went-
Big Dean,
He
bro.
went to your rivals.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of you.
It's incredible. Spurs, you doing any business over there? Tottenham, you doing anything?
I
You
can't
alive?
wait for this.
What's going on?
I can't wait for Morgan Gibbs White, man.
Morgan Gibbs White.
We've got Morgan Gibbs White being held hostage by that fat bastard over in Nottingham Forest.
Hoov, I'm sure you saw the meme or the picture of the owner with like the knife behind Morgan
They
Gibbs
just
White.
announced his new contract.
I saw one with like a gun pointed at him.
Dude,
And there's a camera
if
on
there's
top
been
of the
one
gun.
thing about this Tottenham transfer season that we've learned, it's that Nottingham Forest is no longer a self-respecting club. These guys are the absolute worst. We were all kind of rooting for them, I think. And the
What
whole
a
thing with
weird
Crystal
thing.
Palace and trying to get Crystal Palace out of the Europa League, and they have lost
Yeah.
any sort of neutral fandom that they had when they came up for the first time in like 23 years. Yeah, sounds like Morgan Gibbs White's just straight up not happening. We got a here we go from Fabrizio, and I can confidently tell you that's the only time I've seen a here we go, and it just not ever get brought up ever again. Like, done. The woke, dude.
Fabrizio the
Ornstein
woke.
didn't touch it. I love that for him. Yeah, dude, no, not shit, for real. Muhammad Kudus was a great signing. Gibbs White would have been a great signing. They're floating Adam Wharton. They're, it's just the same old song and dance. Daniel Levy said at the end of the Europa League campaign, we won first trophy in 20 plus years. He's like, I think it's time we really start to push for a team that can win the league and a team that can win more European silverware. It's like, with what, dude? With what? Nothing has changed, bro. So
Why is
yeah,
that
it should have been,
always
right?
the goal?
That feels like a novel concept. Yeah, dude, I've just got nothing. Let me pull it up on Transfer Market. I know we signed this Korean center back kid who Brian Flannery, friend of the pod, said looked dope, and I was like, I have no idea why you know that, but thanks, that's cool. Generally, no idea.
Bro, you also, I know you signed him in January, but Luka Vuskovic.
Hey, we might
Bro.
have something. I'm already.
Yeah.
I am already
Remember the name,
concerned
fellas.
he's
Luka
booked his
Vuskovic.
flight in January to Barcelona. So whatever comes of that. Yeah, he's this 18-year-old absolute lab built freak, dude. He's
Freak of
huge.
nature.
He's 18, bags goals. Yeah, he was the highest scoring center back in the Belgian league last year with like 9 or 10 goals, or 7 goals.
7.
And like not all corner header goals. Like, man hits missiles too. And then scored in his debut against Reading or whatever we played in this preseason game. Like, just kind of ridiculous. I'm really, really, really excited for him. And that's really like about it. Like, everything else is kind of staying the same. Matthias Tell became official, made that one permanent. That's it. like this Ekotike, and one person said that he might look really good in the future, and I'm going to take his word for it, and we're going to go. That's great. So it's good to get some center back cover in, and especially like young players. We don't have a ton of like super promising youngsters. I think Mikey Moore might end up getting his loan out. He just turned 18. I would like for him to be loaned or get first team consistent minutes, and it's just got to be one or the other. So yeah, man, that's literally it. I've got no other rumors. I've got no other inklings of.
What's the deal with
that one might suck, dude. I don't know.
I think Bogert tweeted today. Something Tom Bogert tweeted today about it, that they were like it was getting closer. I think is all it said though.
It's the club will not stand in the way of his decision type thing. There's probably going to be a transfer fee, but I wouldn't imagine it's anything that LA can't afford. That one sucks. It sucks because, one, I think everyone noticed his decline last year. You know, like I mentioned all the time with guys that get older, transition your game a little bit to continue to stay involved. And he was a great creator this year, but his stats really didn't kind of reflect the Sonny of old that we all know and love. So it'd be a huge bummer. More so because like he is a bigger Tottenham legend to me than Harry Kane is. Like he brought the trophy in, captained the side through thick and thin. He didn't leave when it got hard. So many managers he was under. He deserves to do kind of whatever he wants. And if he wants to go to LA and see out the sunset and ball on some American dorks and then just quadruple his personal wealth and value out of LA. So many of that, all of those things make a lot of sense to me. So that's fine. If that's what he wants to do, it's going to be a sad day, but it's understandable given the expectations of the Premier League. And, he's 33. We just signed Tell, who's going to play off the left, and we've got Mikey Moore in the pipeline. We would need someone else, I think, to come in and kind of step into that role. The only other captain options to me are like Matters or Ben Romero, Ben Davies. Ben Davies isn't playing every week like that. He's the oldest tenured player at the team right now. So yeah, it would suck, but it would be understandable, and I think everyone would be okay with it. And I think, frankly, at some point, you just don't want him to look bad in the Premier League. Like, if he's past, like, what did the Jamie Carragher say? Sometimes you need to leave the game before the game leaves you. So, thanks. So,
that was nice.
Yeah, it'd be a bummer.
Said.
Nobody else is coming in, though. I'm pretty much already accepted that. We're going to start the season with pretty much. And Tommy, the Frank engine, at the helm, baby. Woo, woo.
Ride that train, brother. Ride that train. Dopes?
Yes, sir.
Tell me something about Manchester United.
Boomo,
baby! Come on, let's go.
No, I mean, I think for the first two signings that we made this window, I think we I would say probably our top two targets in terms of what we needed in this window. I think we addressed last season. United, it's no secret that the biggest weakness that we had was scoring and creating goals, and we kind of turned back the clock a little bit and did what Fergie used to do and went for what is as close to, I guess, as low risk as humanly possible by signing two proven guys. Like if you look at Mbumo, which probably took way longer than it should have, but it looked like Brentford was trying to get us to pay 77 with $7 million in add-ons, which is 100% ridiculous. We ended up getting for what, 60, it's like 62.5 or something like that, with a potential for $7 million in add-ons. But then again, you're paying for what you get. 20 goals, 7 assists in the Prem last season. I think he was fourth in goals in the entire Prem. I think he was like second for passes received in the final third behind Mo Salah. And then on the flip side, you have Cunha, right? Who I think he was 15 and 6 goals in the Prem last year.
Wolves side too. Well, finished higher than you
on
guys,
an ass Wolf side, but I think he
come on, let's
put
go.
You in that too. But I think it addresses two needs that we really had, right? It's the United side last year with Bruno playing as one of those 10s. Bruno doesn't necessarily excel at progressing the ball. Garnacho did excel at progressing the ball, but his issue continuously has been decision making when he does get into the final third. And I think we're adding what is two Prem proven, flat out ballers, in my opinion. Mateus Cunha is disgusting. He's a little bit different in Mbumo, and then the fact that he does drop in a little bit more into the midfield third, picks up the ball, isn't afraid to go 1v1 and take guys on. And then Mbumo's a little bit different to where he is not afraid to stretch the defense to get vertical. And if you look at like carries in the final third, I think Cunha was second and Mbumo was seventh. So you're looking at two guys who address a massive, massive need for us. And I think if you could design two players that fit Amarim's system to play that two number 10 roles, I think that they're exactly it. I also think that Mbumo adds a little bit more flexibility if we need to. He can play as a target 9 as well. He did it for Brentford a bunch last year. So I think United's had to take a little bit more of a disciplined approach this season in terms of what they wanted to do. They obviously wrapped Cunha up. Got the last or that was closed before even the Europa League final happened, and then Mbumo take a while. But I think United want to get him at the right price. If you're telling me that we got somebody for 62.5 in add-ons and 20 goals and 7 assists, and Madueke went for 55 million, I'm telling you that that's a fucking bargain every day of the week. And that United did good business. We still have to address a striker, a midfielder, and if we're lucky enough, a goalie. So we'll see what happens. I know we're linked to Sesko. I personally don't think he's the option for us. He's a great, fantastic, maybe one of the best strikers in the world in 2 or 3 years. I prefer an Ollie Watkins. I want Prem proven. Give me 45 million. He's a guaranteed between 15 to 20 goals for the next 2 seasons. And then take your chances in developing Cheeto or Xerxes, or even if you have to keep Rasmussen developing them. Truthfully, I think the biggest position, more than striker, we need a box to box. We need somebody that can play alongside Kobe, play alongside Ugarte, but we need a box to box midfielder. But to be honest,
isn't enough.
First off, he plays number 10. We need a box to box number 6 midfielder. We don't play the same formation as you. But that's what we need. We need a box to box midfielder.
I'm hopeful.
But hey, hopefully, which it does sound like, Friel, no banter aside, it does sound like Garnacho is like holding out for Chelsea. And if we can somehow get between 40 or 50, that does feed a striker budget. Anthony looking like between 25 and 50. 15 million in Marcus Rashford's wages off the book by Barcelona, carrying for his entire wage structure. So we get a 9 and a midfielder, fellas. Like this team's playing 1 game a week. Like it's tough to see a downside there.
We're in business, fellas. It's good. I'm hopeful as well. Get me a midfielder and
give me fucking Baliba, dude. I'd rather go after Baliba than Sesko.
I mean, can you imagine if we get Ollie Watkins for 40, let's just say, and then we sell Garnacho, we sell Anthony, and then we go in for Baliba?
Yeah, but then come AFCON, we just don't have a squad.
Yeah, literally zero. I mean, quite literally.
Mazraoui and Mbumo. It would be Baliba. Onana.
Yeah, crazy, bro. Winks. Last but not least, the Arsenal. A lot of signings. Victor Gyökeres, Noni Madueke, Zubamendi, a random center back. I don't remember his name or if that's official yet. Is that official?
It is, yeah.
With these signings, bro, it's official. Arteta has gotten everything he's ever asked for. Is he on the hot seat this season?
Yeah. I think that I said it the entire back half of the season at least, but the striker piece was the one thing that we needed, and anything else would just be depth for them. Didn't expect until I started seeing the rumors that we'd be signing one of the top 5-6s in the world in Zubamendi. I think that was because the striker piece was such a big deal, I wasn't quite thinking that hard about any other positions on the field, but looking at our structure, and obviously we didn't get to see Marino in that 6 or that 8 spot much this season because he was up top for us, but
we know
what a world that was.
I guess he is, man. And then so I went back because we were at the lake, and their Singapore game against Newcastle was early Sunday morning, but went back and watched the highlights because I couldn't find a replay of the game. But Marino had an insane little like bottom right corner slot from just outside the box. Like he's not slowing down on that front. But I think signing Zubamendi will allow Declan to play the position that he's meant to play and that we've seen him be the best at in that 8 spot. But having someone like Zubamendi behind him that is sort of the Mr. Fundamental, if you will, of our starting 11, like dude just does all the easy stuff so effectively, and that's a lot of times, exactly what you need. Kind of that calming presence in our spine. So I think he's going to help a ton with that build up. And then I think sort of right behind him in that depth chart, Christian Norgard, 31-year.
I forgot about him completely.
Yeah, we went from a 33-year-old Jorginho to a 31-year-old
Isn't he the oldest player on the
Norgard.
roster now?
He is.
Yeah.
But captain for Brentford, prior captain for Brentford, 10 million pounds. So nothing crazy, but I think he's been semi near the top of the league in interceptions. I think that he's going to be a more sort of dynamic version of Jorginho when it comes to like depth and bringing somebody on. I think that he plays with a lot more intensity. He's bigger, pacier. Jorginho was.
He is pacier.
I can't say words.
That man
he
needs
is
to go to the lake.
Pasty. Yeah. But I think that where Jorginho lacks in sort of like covering that ground in the back half, last quarter of games that he does come on, Norgard will make up for that. After going an entire game with Zubamendi controlling the pace of the game, I think that Norgard's gonna, being one of the top ball winners in the league, if we're down and we do need to bring in a sub in that spot, I think that he's going to be a good one.
We got to talk about Brentford's transfer strategy this summer too. They just sold their manager, multiple of their best players. Like what is their plan?
They're just
yes
rebuild. I guess
go down territory. Like
Winks, we got to talk about how this Max Dowman kid fits in the plans, man. Because I know that I basically, I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say right there. I know that I have been very high on him, but for real, like it was like there was a bunch of like Arsenal Twitter was like he is not, obviously you don't move Saka because Dowman's played a lot on the right, but like you have to find a way for him to somehow get minutes this year because he did. I watched that game against Newcastle, or the highlights at least. He was making proven players look stupid.
Yeah,
and he's done it for a while.
And I want him on the field, but I don't know where we fit him in.
Saka will get hurt.
Can he play like a 10?
Probably, but that's like that.
I think it'd be amazing if he played the left wing. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
your
saying.
Biggest
that's
need.
what I'm saying. Yeah, like that was going to be something I touched on. Is like a lot of the preseason like things on Twitter that I saw was that we were going to play Madueke out left. Hope to God we don't do that. Like he was an expensive depth signing, but he's not a starting left winger or right winger in any sense of the word on our team right now. Like I would rather keep Martinelli out there. But before the end of the season, earlier this year, there were a lot of talks of, us signing a backup for Saka and then moving Nwaneri to that understudy for Odegaard because his favorite position is that 10 spot. So with him going there, I wouldn't mind trying to figure out how to fit Dauman in on the left side and just having two left-footed wingers or making him the understudy for Saka, but I really don't want it to be thankfully we're playing in as many games as we can this year, so I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity in these games for rotation, and we have one of the probably the deepest squad we've ever had under Arteta. So I don't see why we can't, rotate the hell out of these players. But I think the key is going to be making sure we do it at the right times and, finding those combinations of players that are still going to, win us games when we are rotating players, because with how deep we are right now, knock on wood, pending minimal to no injuries, I don't see why we can't be neck and neck for favorites for any competition we're in this year.
And that's without Eze either.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was after talking about, the man of the hour, that was going to be something I was going to bring up. But before I talk about that, we were linked to Ollie Watkins in the winter, Isak, before they didn't want to let him go in the January window, and then at the beginning of the summer it was all Sesko or Gyökeres, and I'm extremely. I don't think I would have been upset at all with any of those decisions, but the more that conversation's gone on, I'm so happy with who we got. I think that, you know, you talked about it with the United guys, but there is that Prem proven piece that's super, super important when it comes to this league because of how physical this league is. But knowing that this guy scored a hat trick against City this past year, and he's a giant. Like, he's not just a giant as in he's tall like Sesko is, but he's also beefy. He's a beefcake, and I think that I went back and watched this YouTube video about like 10 times Gyökeres impressed Arsenal or impressed Arteta or whatever it was. And seeing him, it wasn't just some of the quick turns and shots on goals that he had, but it was like holding off these giant center backs and receiving the ball at the top of the 18 and either laying a ball off or turning them and putting it on net or putting it in the net. Even if it's not a top 5 league, I think 97 goals in 102 matches is something to be proud of. 11 of those being in 17 European tournaments. I think there is still gonna be some adaptation that's gonna need to happen when it comes to the Premier League physicality, but I think he's well on his way based on his current physique. And he's that guy, like, pound for pound, what we were looking for in this sense. So I'm super stoked to see him play in Hong Kong against Spurs in his first North London derby on Thursday. Super important game, that one.
Dude,
but then
woke nonsense. North London derby in Singapore is a preseason friendly. Get that shit.
Yeah.
That's so dumb, dude. That
really struck a chord with Hoover there. It's so funny.
No, but even more so, I think it's going to be cool that his first, Premier League debut is going to be against his former Sporting manager at Old Trafford at the beginning of the season. It's going to be sick.
I think he's going to be a demon, man.
Yeah.
More so than anything, his mentality is the difference, for real.
That 100%. Like, I watched his his like welcome interview he did with Arsenal, and so many responses were just like, I just want to score goals. Like, I'm just here to score goals, and I'm just like, thank you. Like, was that too much to ask for, a year and a half ago?
That's all Lucas has ever asked for.
All I've ever wanted is a dog up top, and now that we finally got it, I think not only is it going to be cool to see him score goals, but it's going to be even cooler to see the way that our system is going to change in the way of we're not going to be forced to only play the ball out to our wingers and try and cross the ball in and get corners and score off corners.
He is just going to be a constant reminder of Spurs beating us in the Europa League final.
Yeah,
just constant. Like what could
you
have
know
been?
What's gonna get that stupid celebration, bro? That's gonna suck.
That's what I should have done when I joined the pod 2 minutes late.
The Arsenal AFTV with the Batman video already made me cringe. Like nobody's business.
They're just the worst, bro.
When we shoot more headshots of all of us for podcast covers, we all need to do one of our players' celebrations, and I'm just gonna. Every single pod cover art's just gonna be.
My team doesn't score enough goals to have any cool stuff.
Yeah, for real. That literally. Yeah, you got the
you're right.
You got the sickest one of them all, probably.
It is a good one. No, but yeah, and then Eze will be, if that goes through, will be the icing on the cake. I think we've talked about it all this year about Martinelli sort of regressing and Trossard's getting older, and I don't think we even expected to keep him during this window. I think a lot of people were expecting him to go, but he's been around, and ironically, him and Ben White both played with Gyökeres at Brighton. So as far as team chemistry, I think that'll sort of help him,
settle in,
make friends in the club. Yeah, feel comfortable in that way. But
Ben White's the guy I want to welcome. But.
Yeah. Get him in a tanning bed. He is a little pale. What's
it mean for Jesus? Do you think?
What does it mean
for like depth? Or is he?
Yeah. I mean, he'll
Carabao Cup superstar.
Nobody's gonna buy him. Nobody's gonna buy him for what we're paying him weekly. He's one of the highest paid players on our roster, so we're not getting rid of him. So I think the minimal amount of games he is gonna play
for a 10 maybe.
Huh?
And then Kai maybe as a backup for a 10.
Yeah, something like that.
I'd rather have Nwaneri as that backup, but I think that
you all have depth. I mean,
Yeah.
like for as many games as you'll be playing, there should be no conversations about injuries. There should be no conversations.
You know who
about
picks the players and stuff like that? That might be the problem, though.
Phase 9.
Maybe we'll find
Phase
out.
9 Arteta.
Maybe we'll find a what phase Arteta in? That's so funny.
it's the best phase.
There's a lot to be seen.
Phase 9, and we bought a 9. What about that?
Hey, we just
Meant
one
to
by
be.
one. But as the season gets closer, you can expect a full Premier League preview from us. We'll also round up season 4 here shortly. Typically, we do that like
That's
the week
crazy.
before the Premier League starts. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eye out for that. Next week, we'll be hitting you with a spicy episode coming off of some St. Louis City games, some more preseason games to weigh in on.
I don't think
and hopefully
City plays
some more,
again
transfer
after
business.
this Villa game for like 2 weeks. It's League's Cup break. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So that's
Oh,
awesome.
God.
That's great.
We're never recording a pod again.
We doing a Butchie main factor cap?
You got
Next
one.
week for sure. I'm down.
Wow, man comes back and doesn't come prepared.
You boner?
Classic. Well, as always, hit us up on the social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, the works. You know where to find us. And with that being said, cheers, fellas.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers,
See you,
lads.
bruv.